Welcome to the KMBest podcast. Gerry didn't want to cold open the podcast with this, but I told him that he has every right to cold open the podcast with a story. So we're going to throw to Gerry for an actual update in the life of Gerry Thompson. That isn't just, it's the same. Gerry, how are you doing?
It is basically the same. I did leave my house, but it was to play Magic the Gathering at a local store level.
Yes.
And yesterday I played an RCQ, fairly uneventful. Today I played a store championship at a store I had never heard of. And it's like 10 miles from my house, pretty close. Check out their Facebook page, because they don't have a website or anything, or they do, but it's just like a link to their Facebook page.
Primo.
And every post is basically like CEDH event, CEDH event, CEDH event. I'm just like, oh,
it's your home base.
So basically. This should be my LGS.
Yes.
And I don't know exactly what I'm getting into, but I go to the store champs, you know? How bad can it be? Well, before top 4, of which they illegally cut a round off of the event, I decided to visit the restroom, and it's very small, but the entirety of the wall facing away from the toilet is a massive framed photo. And it is Boba Fett taking a shit while reading Harry Potter. And in the background of Boba Fett's bathroom, there is a framed photo of Slave Leia.
Dude, nerd culture is genuinely just so rancid. Like it's like you described this, and it's like you walked into Reddit. It's like a human. Yeah. It's like you walked into an actual like avatar of like, I don't know. It's just, there's this thing about nerd culture where you either age up a little bit and can look back and be like, oh, that was embarrassing, or you don't, right? And so, like, just the concept of someone coming up with that is just so immensely juvenile, and it boggles the mind that someone with the resources to own something would do such a thing. But I am a adult man hosting a podcast about card games, so I can't dislike this in any meaningful way other than to compare myself to it slightly favorably, but like not really all that favorably. Like how Americans dunk on British people, where it's like, yeah, you're 10% worse than us. It's like,
yep.
But like really the similarities are much more striking than the differences, unfortunately.
And we established last week that we are good at card games, which makes us even worse human beings.
It's much worse, yeah.
Yeah. I got my ass kicked in top 4 by a kid who I don't think I had ever seen before, but was very cool. And seemed to play well, and I actually sat around and like chatted with him for 5 or 10 minutes or whatever. So pleasant surprise out of the CEDH store.
Yeah, I was gonna bring this up later in the podcast, but if you're gonna bring up CEDH this early, there was like some sort of CEDH cheating scandal over the weekend, and I was like mildly interested.
It's all connected, KM.
Right, I was mildly interested. The basic outline of the cheating scandal, and I don't really like. This is one of those ones where it's like, without an extensive amount of domain knowledge, I probably can't even explain what the hell happened. But basically, someone was judged to have cheated, and this was not penalized at the time because the judge ruled that it was not really a meaningful cheat. It brought him from like 1% to like 1%. It was like, okay, maybe he tried to do this. I don't really know, but he definitely cheated. It just like wasn't meaningful, right? And this is like, it's funny. Go ahead.
To me, it read like, oh, he was nominated for an Emmy, but he didn't win or whatever.
Right.
It was like, yeah, he cheated. He did pretty good, right? but not enough to give him the actual award, which was a disqualification. Like,
Right.
his cheating did not rise to the level at which we would deserve to recognize it.
Now, this is all Twitter hearsay because everything about this format is Twitter hearsay. But the guy in question is on like a fervent crusade to say that he didn't cheat. There's apparently a website that, like, if you do well but are a cheater, they like append a cheater tag on your decks. And so it's like, he was like, you have to get this tag off me. I did not cheat. And that seems to be the crux of the drama. But what really sucked me in is learning that the judge who gave that ruling is none other than our old friend, third mic of the podcast, Noah Rabine.
Yeah.
And
great close friend of the podcast.
I don't understand. It's like he appears out of the ether to issue questionable judge rulings. Like whenever, like some sort of imp-like spirit, wherever there is a judge ruling that makes people go, wait, what the hell? He's there to be involved. And I don't understand how you like. Now, of course, naturally, that is like the last resort of a pro player with a bad reputation is to go to CEDH. I understand that, but I just think it's like, I don't know how he was involved. Like, it's insane. I learned he was involved from someone like vague tweeting. Like, the judge is also sketchy here. And then someone in the comments was like, what do you mean the judge is sketchy? This is the first I've heard of it. And then they learn it was Noah Rabine. Like,
yeah.
It's like...
Judge is not kind of sketchy. It's just like most prolific D-bag probably in Magic in like the last 3 years or something.
It's so sick. These two storylines should never have connected. This is like if the Wire had a crossover with like Game of Thrones for me. This is like it happened. Yeah. This is like, holy shit, dude.
But when you sit down and think about it, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Because whenever he would get staffed at like SCG or NRG events, I'm just like, why? Why are these like reputable organizations continuing to staff this guy? And then he did his thing where he hoodwinked people with his apology and like, this is the last pro tour I'm gonna play and where else is there for him to go?
Right,
like the only other thing. Yeah, dude, especially CEDH, where it is just like overly pedantic, like rules lawyery bullshit. Like, how was he not there earlier? Yes, like honestly,
he is going to be the king of that format. He is going to be like the absolute god.
He starts by judging.
Yep.
He learns the ropes.
Yep.
He studies the blade.
Yes.
And then it's going to be him versus Sam Black in the finals of every tournament.
I feel so bad for Sam Black because that's just a decent human being.
Yeah, Sam just likes
to like a format that is just like impossible to have a reasonable discussion about because every time anything happens in the format that I hear about, it's this. It's all this.
Yeah, but like what's the trajectory for Noah Rabine? Is like what he starts judging Riftbound and then cheating in Riftbound or something? Like I could see that happening.
This is why when I got washed, I just played digital card games, is so I couldn't get sharked by people like this. Like this is what you do if you don't want to get sharked by people. You play a digital card game that has digital rules enforcement. And, there's problems with that. Like in Marvel Snap right now, Wiccan isn't triggering if you don't use all the energy on the turn you play him. There's problems with digital rules enforcement, but it's impartial. Those problems are bipartisan. They affect everybody. That's no one's intentionally screwing you when you play a digital card game, except of course all of the greedy game devs who are definitely screwing you 100% every time. Quote me on that. By the way, shout out to Glenn Jones for going on my YouTube channel. That was just very, very generous of him. I was surprised by the response.
What did he do?
He rated my fake patch. Also, outed as not a real fan. Yeah, no, I did a fake patch, and the pitch for the patch was like, before I published that video, I reached out to Glenn. I was like, hey, would you be willing to do this? And so now, a few weeks later, it's like, all right, let's have Glenn on, rate the fake patch, talk about, you know, why they make decisions, how they make decisions, and all of that. The response I saw from my comments was overwhelmingly positive. People just genuine. Well, I mean, of course it would be, right? Like, you know, there was one comment that was like, you have no idea what this guy is talking about. And it's like, yes, that's the purpose of an interview. Like, yep, that is why I am asking him questions.
I would have just interviewed myself if that were the case.
Yeah.
Why would I need this other guy?
It's almost like the premise of the video was me arrogantly proposing a patch only to be put into my place by someone whose job it actually is to do that. Oh, damn, that's crazy. Anyway.
Did you propose it to Glenn as like, hey, do you want to come on my channel and dunk on me?
Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty explicit.
Was he like, oh, I don't know, I'll check my schedule, or did he snap it off as I would expect him to?
I messaged him. I messaged him, and he was like, yeah, totally. Within 30 minutes, he was like, yes, yeah, he snapped it off. But to his credit, he didn't. He didn't do a lot of dunking.
Okay, I was gonna say, were you like, oh no, what have I signed up for?
No. It's literally like I specifically was like, the pitch is I do a video that's like, okay, second dinner, I fixed your game, and then the second video's title is okay, KMBest, I fixed your patch. You know, like that's the same. That's the premise, right? So like I did.
Man, I might become a real fan at this point.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
Yeah, it was good. I did 2 titles for it. One was like, the game developer dunks on my facile attempt at a fake patch, and the other one was like, game developer kindly corrects my interesting attempt at a fake patch, just to test like how much my audience liked seeing me being dunked on. Turns out they clicked the second one more.
Weird.
I would not have guessed that. I would not have guessed. I was positive that the formulation of this with me as the butt monkey would be the right formulation. I was wrong, apparently.
I would hope that the Glenn video, the thumbnail is him giving you like little head pats.
I'm nowhere near good enough at editing to do that, and still unwilling to use AI. So it is just a normal thumbnail.
Good man.
And then I have the Thanos contemplating in the background, where it's just like him sitting in the background going like this. That's the face behind me. I tried to get Glenn onto that, but I can't face morph well enough to make it work.
Okay, that was what I was thinking. It was just like having him like, you know, arms crossed, like towering over you.
It would have required the use of AI, I suspect. That is beyond my capabilities.
Yeah, not technologically, but morally.
Yes. Yeah, I'm super grateful to Glenn for taking the time. It was a very fun experience to engage in that way, and to like have my ideas critically reviewed and use a sort of backdoor job application, you know, show I can have these conversations. This is the secret.
Godspeed.
Yeah, Godspeed, you know. What am I going to do if I'm not doing that, right? But yeah, people were really happy with it. Like to the point that I'm kind of wondering if I am a shill. Like, it's like, damn, I just did PR work for them. What the hell? Like, I thought this was gonna be neutral, but like everyone, like a lot of people came away from like, wow, that's so awesome that Glenn did this. It's like, wait a minute, what about me?
I got good news and bad news. Good news, you've been hired. Bad news, it's not as a developer. It's as a PR person.
It's unpaid. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah, like I guess if you zoom out, what I did was give Glenn an opportunity to showcase that he's a very smart, intelligent, and capable person, which I guess to me, I just assumed everybody knew.
Yeah, I could have both told you that,
yeah,
and also told you that nobody knows that.
That's crazy. I mean, like like the whole video was utterly unsurprising to me. Like, I was just like, yep, 100%. Everything he says, he's just right about it. If you have a contention, he reframes it in a way that makes it clear that you're thinking about it incorrectly and points out the flaw in your logic without actually pointing it out every single time. That is what it's like talking to the guy. It's like, fucking jujitsu. And everyone was just like, wait, really? And it's like, what the fuck? That's, of course, that's what it's like.
Yeah. The greatest thing I think that has been like gifted to me as a result of existing in these spaces for like 20 years is being able to interact with people like that, where I'm just like, oh, I just want to hear you talk more because you say smart things.
Yeah. One day, people feel that way. Actually, I mean, I guess my YouTube channel kind of is people who feel that way about me. But it's just one of those things where it's like, you have the conversation and you come away like, I got better at something, you know?
Nice. Hell yeah.
Um,
Meanwhile, I played Store Champs and I feel like a worse person.
I mean, you got to go to the Boba Fett Harry Potter slave Leia bathroom, dude. You got to
I did
Reddit Mecca.
It's like I got cultured.
No,
I got to go to visit the Reddit museum.
You gotta pray towards that direction 5 times a day, dude. You were inside of Mecca. Like, you were inside the Kaaba. That's where you were. That's the Reddit that you were there. That's what happened.
It was Sunday.
Yeah. I don't know if that has the significance that it would have in Christian culture, to be completely honest with you.
Why not? Explain.
I mean, because, I'm Jewish, and for us, it's Saturday. So I don't know what it is for a Muslim person.
Yeah, but I grew up Lutheran, you see, so.
Right. What's your equivalent of like a holy
Sunday
place? Like another analogy was like you went to the western wall of Reddit. You had to kiss the wall, the Reddit wall in the bathroom. What would the equivalent be for you?
Not sanitary.
Yeah, I mean, neither is Western Wall, presumably. A lot of people kiss that.
That's weird. I don't know, man.
There's no like, it is weird. There's no like pilgrimage.
My local Domino's.
I mean, for a Magic player, it's like a Waffle House, right? It's like a Denny's or a Waffle House, something horrific like that.
I mean, my Waffle House history, right?
I am vaguely familiar with your Waffle House history, but I'm more familiar with your Denny's history, which, as far as I recall, is you ordering the same thing every time, even though it makes you sick.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah. I mean, that rocks.
It's been a while since I've gone. That might have been the only way that today could have been better, is if there was like, I go outside, look across the parking lot, and there's a Denny's, and
shining,
I'm like,
like angelic choir.
The moons over my hammy are calling me.
You go in the Denny's, in the bathroom. There's a picture of Slave Leia taking a dump with naked Boba Fett on the wall.
Yes. I would have been like, who is this local artist?
Oh man, that rocks so hard. I can't get over it. It's just like there's such a. I genuinely think that it's one of the things that pushes me away from enjoying photorealistic art, is that so much of the like gauche ass slop that I see is photorealistic art of just like action figures or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's this thing that happens in, like, I guess you'd call it like a nerd art movement, which is you're doing something sort of fundamentally unserious. It's like a kid's toy or whatever, that's what this stuff is. And so you're like, we're going to make it serious by making it gritty and realistic. And so you get this gritty, realistic Boba Fett. You get like gritty, realistic Optimus Prime. You get like all of this stuff. It's like, I think it is a real cultural, artistic movement of like aging up this stuff to make it feel adult, right? But it's just all of this energy and skill being wasted on this. And it's like, I have such a distaste for that cultural movement that it has actually poisoned me against enjoying photorealistic art, because it's so slop-coated in my brain.
I think that is completely fair, and I haven't thought about it very much, but I basically feel the same way. I don't know, like, certainly when I was reading comic books and whatnot, that was not the type of art style that I gravitated towards because I don't know. It's just like I'm not trying to like watch an animated thing that isn't a cartoon, you know? It's like I'll just watch a live action thing or something. And same thing with like reading a comic book. Like if I would I read any sort of comic book where it was literal just like photo stills or something?
I
like,
mean, that's my guy. That's my guy, Alex Ross, right? Like,
Sure, yeah.
I think that style of art is aimed at fundamentally like a 14-year-old brain, a brain in a liminal space, a brain that enjoys childlike interests but is rebelling against their own enjoyment of those childlike interests, and thus is portraying the childlike interests in an adult way. And that's how you get photorealistic Boba Fett taking a dump on the wall of your LGS, right? But it's one thing to be like that when you're 14, and it's another thing to be like that when you're 30. And it's just one of those things that, like, when you look at my aesthetic tastes, they trend towards an almost explicit rejection of that paradigm. An acceptance of, like, I am an adult male, and if I like a pink bright thing, I will do that. It's okay. I'm going to do that, right? And that is not like, I don't know, that's not a hard stance to take. Like, it's not 2002 anymore, you know? That's normal. You're allowed to do that. Everyone wore tight pants for 10 years. This is not like a big thing. But it just sort of strikes me that of all the things that endured from my childhood, that specific artistic tendency, not what I would have expected, to be honest with you. I don't like it.
I was just trying to pee, man. I didn't need to see all that, you know?
Yeah. It's something. Do you wanna talk a little bit about Marvel Snap? People are playing Wasp.
Let's go. What happened?
Okay, so the way things have gone, it's gotten really difficult to talk to normies about this game. And I don't mean normies like normal people. I mean like normies like you're not top 100. Because like at top 100, 85% of the people you play are just dunking on Star-Lord repeatedly. Like, they are just like you queue into a game at top 100 and you're playing Star-Lord and they're going to hold you down and give you a swirly. Like, you're just going to get repeatedly, your head's going to get dunked in the toilet over and over. And when you do it, you're winning 1 cube. Congratulations, you're playing Galactus. Go back to the swirly after you won your 1 cube. Swirly, 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 swirly. They're dunking on you. It's horrible, right? And as far as I can tell, that's not true anywhere else. There are 2 worlds here in a way that I think is more pronounced than I've ever seen in Marvel Snap. We've had like split metagames where like move bounce, for example, but that's a deck being good, and there are other decks that are in a similar space to it. There's nothing in a similar space to like what I would describe as almost an inverted matchup curve. Like between
that's what I was going to say is like now being the answer to the thing is difficult to do or goes against the normal paradigm for like what you might consider playing in your Marvel Snap deck. And my experience is basically the opposite of what you've described, where it's like I'm dunking on people. I get like 5 cubes, you know, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then I get a swirly. And then I'm like, all right.
Yeah, like it is remarkable, right? That normally I can account for a difference like this. Like normally when something's good at high infinite, the reasons that it's good carry down. But in a metagame that is this defined by one thing and your reaction to that one thing, it doesn't unless that counter has carried down, right? And so I think it's worth talking about that specifically, which is unlike every other combo deck in Marvel Snap, when you play against Star-Lord, you are playing against a play pattern and not a specific, you don't have a specific answer. Your job is to manipulate their play pattern, Jean Grey Cosmo, which is genuinely where the Wasp comes in. Because at very high infinite, the way to succeed against Jean Grey Cosmo is you play the Wasp to make sure you can get out of that lane. This also works
Did I not bring this up?
This also works against Negasonic, and it also lets you play a small guy in the front for Fin Fang Fu mirrors. So those are the 3 uses of it. This has been sort of pioneered by a player named Honifer, who's a great deck builder, does a ton of work, and this is like his attempt at being the Star-Lord deck that doesn't get shittered by all the people that are, Jean Grey Cosmo, Daredevil Cosmo, all the Cosmo guys, the Supergiant people, that kind of thing, right? And what he's done is he's taken some of the combo stuff out and gotten Wasp and Magic in. Magic allows you to counterplay the Supergiant stuff because nice Supergiant idiot, go play the Magic on turn 4, you play the Supergiant on turn 4. Good luck with that one, buddy. I'm still getting my energy by the time we go to the final turn of the game.
See, this is what I was talking about. This is counterplay to the counterplay. Yep. This is like the next level in evolution, and all of this stuff, dude, it sounds like it is going to be like months before any of this like proliferates down ladder.
Yes, dude.
Because
the deck is playing like Echo, Magic, Wasp, all to counterplay the counterplay.
Yeah, no,
never happened.
No shot.
Yes,
no shot. So you're familiar with the Magic the Gathering card Badger Mole Cub, yes?
I mean, I know it's busted. I don't know much else about it.
For viewer context, that is kind of all you need to know. In a vacuum, card is very strong. It is arguably one of the strongest things that you can do in the current format. And there was a recent large tournament, a Pro Tour, where decks built around this card, and I mean that in the most extreme way possible, comprised almost 50% of the total metagame. And these decks are 4 of the card, 4 ways to search for it, 4 ways to copy it, 12 things that it enables, 1 win condition.
So it's V-hand.
Yes, but if V-hand was capable of going like way, way over the top of you and also being like way, way faster than you.
It's 1 cost Human Torch.
Yeah, but maybe it just like doubles every turn for free instead of you having to do a bunch of stuff, because all this stuff is like I played cards, and then on I handed my deck off to my friend, and he was goldfishing. And the first hand he drew up, and he was like, "Oh, this seems pretty good." I was like, "Yes, yeah, that's not a bad hand." And then he's going through, and he's just like, "Oh, on turn 3 I can do this." And I was like, "Well, if you do this other thing, then you get 4 extra mana." And he was like, "Oh." And he's like, "Wait, can I just kill them?" I was like, "Yeah, dude, you have a turn 3 kill rolled up. Like, that is..."
Oh, I don't miss Magic. That's standard.
You're anyway,
standard right now.
This is standard. Yes. Anyway, moral of the story: that deck got completely bodied at the big tournament, at the Pro Tour, to the point where everybody stopped playing it. And for higher level tournaments, I think that makes sense, because a lot of those players will still be in the mentality of like, hey, this thing is really strong, and maybe it is not super popular, but it is possible that it could see a resurgence or whatever, I'm maybe safer playing a deck that has a naturally good matchup into it, right? I'm going to a 14-person CEDH Store Champs. I was like, I'm going to just play Badger Mole Cub. I'm going to just dunk on these people. I'm going to play the Fun Police. And that mostly worked, and people were like, "Oh, it's so weird that you're playing that. Like, I thought it was really bad. Do you think like the deck is going to be good again?"
Nope.
And I was like, it never stopped being bad. It's just, I don't expect 14 rando commandos at the CEDH store to know what you have to do in order to beat me. And they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense."
Did you actually say that? Because that seems a little like a little.
I did to my friend.
Jerry, for you. Yeah, you wouldn't have said that to their face.
I did. No, I said it to my friend because I said it maybe the nice way, where I was like, "Well, this deck was basically the Fun Police. It was very good because you were doing really powerful things, killing people on turn 3 and turn 4, and the decks that it did that against cease to exist at a high level, but what is seeing play at the store champs? It is like all of those decks that this deck used to beat up on. And the person's like, oh, like you're good at metagaming or whatever. And I was
leveled
like,
thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. And then my friend was like, oh, that's interesting or whatever. And I was like, well, actually, I just knew that they would never be able to beat me, like playing the powerful thing. So
yeah, I think there's this thing that, the Levine trench, where I think a lot of players in the Levine trench don't have a great enough understanding of context, and that's the thing that sort of keeps them there and keeps them embittered a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And there tends to be this thing where you think about decks in terms of absolutes, and you see this in Marvel Snap a lot, where it's like, if people can notice the rule you're breaking, they think you're like 50 times stronger than you are, right? Like, people notice that Star-Lord is making 23 energy, and they're like, holy shit, that's 23 energy. That's insane. That's I only get 6 cents. That's 23. That's so busted, right?
Yeah.
And it's like,
Badger Bowl Cup.
The outcome is busted, but there's other things going on here, right? Like, people would react the same way to a Mr. Negative. They'd react the same way to like most combo decks, because you can identify, oh God, that's ridiculous, right? But the amount that these decks win by when they win biases people towards thinking that they're stronger than they are, because when they win by 10 bajillion, right? When they win, it's like, oh my God. And when they lose, it's like relatively close. And that's a great spread to have. It makes it a lot harder to mess up. There's like, that is a strength, right? But at the same time, it does mean that people are way higher on the actual win rates and cube rates of these decks than they should be, because they experience it viscerally. They experience being outpowered in a visceral way, and they can identify that this is a fucked up thing and it shouldn't be happening to them. Except it's like not, and you can do stuff about it, right? It's like,
end of the day, it's like, they beat you very badly.
Yep.
Because they popped off and you offered no resistance, but you lost a cube or whatever.
Yep.
And how is that any different? Like, I don't care if my opponent, Living Tribunal, Onslaught, Iron Man's me and has like 400 at each location. That me losing 2 cubes to that or 1 cube to that doesn't make me feel any worse than just like, oh, my draw was bad, my opponent's draw was good, they snapped, I retreated. Like, those are the same outcomes.
Yep.
So what is the thing that you should be focused on? I think you're right, where just like pay attention to like the cube stuff. And it's like, okay, yeah, you lost a cube. Who cares?
I think
when you're playing the deck, you won a cube. You shouldn't be proud of that.
What makes the counters to the deck so pernicious for it are that you basically feel like you can't snap in case you're running into one of them, right? Like, if you're playing a Star-Lord deck and your opponent plays a Daredevil, you kind of don't want to snap. Like, you're kind of just sitting there like, oh shit, that's really unpleasant for me, because if I snap, their turn 5, if they have priority, is going to be taking priority and Cosmoing my fucking guy, right? Like,
you want to talk about bad outcomes, man. What if you're like, yo, I got it rolled up, I'm a snap, and your opponent immediately snaps you right back.
And then they play a super giant.
That's a bad outcome.
And you're like, oh
that
shit.
Feels bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I'm so dead. I have made a mistake. I just stepped in something.
Yep. That's life. Like, I think the deck is good. Like, to be clear, it's a really good, really popular combo deck. But it is just a combo deck. You know what I mean? This is not like an all-encompassing metagame solution that beats everything, even the decks that are trying to beat it. The amount it has to warp itself to get itself to even playable at high infinite is, you got to play a lot of bad cards to make that happen. Like, you gotta take a lot of the bite out of the deck. You gotta cut your Zola. You gotta cut your Grandmaster. You gotta play Magic and Echo and Wasp and just like, like you gotta do all this awful stuff to get around it. And it's like, What's really happening at High Infinite is there is, much like Badger Mole Cub, a 1-2 that just is 8 billion more points than everything else at its comparable level. And that card is Batrock the Leaper, who is just like this Nightcrawler thing really drove it home, right? Because like Nightcrawler goes to 1-3, and suddenly it's like a pretty good 1-drop. You're seeing it in a lot of decks, including the Batrock decks, right? And you're like, huh, you know, every other good 1-drop is like a 1-3 with upside. And Batrock is like, I don't know, 15 points.
Yeah, you know, 110 or whatever on its own, but also pumping up all your other stuff. So
it's like 110 on its own, then you got like a Craven and a Hydra Stomper, and it's like, okay, why? Why is every other one of these cards High Evo Misty Knight, and then Batrock gets to be a 115? What's happening here?
To me, I look at that like that's not super offensive because Human Torch used to be a 160 or whatever.
Sure, yes, that was, but that was really
like,
offensive.
Okay, yeah, that was more offensive, and now that's more in line. And to me, Batrock is just like that's the scaled down Human Torch. Sure. And don't get me wrong, it's still offensive, but I think that is reasonable compared to how it was.
Yes. I think
it can get better from here.
I think the thing that really drives some of the Batrock thing for me, though, is I was talking to Iris, and I was like, I don't know how you play so much Batrock. And she was like, well, the thing is, I want to play a mid-range deck, but I can't play any other mid-range deck because every other mid-range deck loses to Batrock, and I don't want to play a mid-range deck and then lose to Batrock, so I'll just play Batrock for fucking 3,000 games a season. And it's like, I don't like that sentence. I don't like the sentence, dude. I don't like it where it's like, well, every other mid-range deck loses this, and I look at that and I'm like, yeah, that's true. Yup. Like, yup. Can't argue. That's just a fact. All right, I guess that's where we are.
Yeah. All the mid-range enjoyers in Magic during this Badger Mole Cub era were like, I guess I put removal spells in my creature mana generation combo deck to beat up on the mirror because I normally enjoy playing mid-range, but I can't play mid-range because I would just lose to the Badger Mole Cub.
It is very
So I must be Badger Mole Cub, but with guns.
Yeah, there was a bit at the beginning of the season where a bunch of us in High Infinite were like, oh, I've got the solution. It's Batrock with Supergiant. And then very quickly we realized that if you cut the Supergiant for Daredevil, it's better because the Supergiant is impeding your ability to Batrock. Like, you got like a face down Batrock on 5, and you're like, oh shit. I would rather not have the hard counter for Star-Lord just so I can do more Batrock garbage, right? Like that's damning. It's a damning indictment of where the game is at. Because that was when everyone was still playing Star-Lord, and it was just like, you know what I'm gonna do is not even play the hard counter because I would rather just like I just want to get my scalers off.
Yeah, I want to be Batrocking. You know what is up, by the way, with like V-Hand and Batrock the Leaper. You know, like why are these?
Oh, the Glup Shido thing.
Yeah, the Glup Shido like overpowered. Like how did this happen?
I have no idea how they did it, man. V-Hand, I've long said, just swap Nick Fury and V-Hand's names. Easy.
Oh
done.
My god.
Call it a day.
God.
That one's easy. Batrock the Leaper, swap him with you can't swap him with anyone meaningful, unfortunately. That's great flavor for Batrock the Leaper. You could make him a spider guy maybe, but I think they're out of spider guys.
I call. Okay. There's no shot now that they're out of spider guys. So the V-Hand thing, okay. Patch notes. Here's my patch, Glenn Jones. Mm-hmm. Nick Fury just assassinates V-Hand. Okay? And now y'all get to make a bunch of money because I'm sure you got a bunch of dope Nick Fury variants that you never get to sell because they're on Nick Fury.
Problem is, they'd never be mean enough to do that. That would require being mean to people who like Nick Fury and like V-Hand. And they'd be like, okay, well, now all your sick-ass Gooner V-Hand variants that you all bought, which I know you did. Those don't count anymore. You can't use those. And they would never do that.
I know you did.
I didn't. I avoided them. It was $50. I didn't get it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I have no Batrock variants because both of them were in bundles that I didn't buy.
Yeah, I don't think I have one either.
Yep.
Yeah, that's another thing though. It's just like I presumably, if like give me a Creative House Pocket variant for 1,200 gold for a card that's like reasonably playable, I'm buying that every time. And if you do that enough times, I'm gonna run out of gold. And then you keep making variants I like. What's a boy to do, KM?
The problem is both Batrock variants just suck. They're just him in different poses. It's like, do something interesting. Like, I already had my rant about the photorealism shit, right? Do something with him, man. Like, shit. Give me a mildly interesting Batrock the Leaper. Goddamn.
Yeah, we're out here trying to spend money.
Yeah. But yeah, they could never do it because it would invalidate so many purchases. But I wish they would. But I mean, failing that, at some point they should probably put Batrock in the dumpster, man. And that's also not to mention, guess who else is in this Batrock deck? Now, granted, there is like the Daredevil Batrock deck, which is the harder Shola counter, Daredevil Cosmo, Negasonic, things like that in the Batrock shell. Very good, very solid, like in my opinion, relatively budget deck. I'm not sure how budget it actually is. Cerebro 3, probably a better budget deck, but both of them are Daredevil Cosmo decks. That's generally a space that you're happy to be in against the Star-Lord. The other version, the one Iris is playing, is, of course, Shola Maverick. Yay!
Cool.
Yeah, so that guy's still really good. Don't really know what to do with that information, but he is still an absolute monstrosity. I think that if you're mad about Star-Lord, I would like to redirect your anger to Sholau, perhaps. We'll see. Star-Lord, much more solvable problem than Sholau, I think, right now. Like, because let's say they nerf Star-Lord, we're going right back into Batrock show meta, and I don't know what the hell to do about that. I didn't have a solution at the end of last month. I don't have a solution now. It's quite a deck.
I think you do what Iris does, probably.
Play 3,000 games of
I just be leaping. I don't know what to do, so I'm out here leaping.
Yeah, last time I played, I was like, all right, I'll play some of the Haunted for Star-Lord list. I'll play some Doom 2099. I'll have a little bit of fun. Those are decks that are pretty draw dependent, had some bad draws, lost like 80 SP, got some of my cubes eaten by a bug, which I whined about enough that it might actually get fixed now. So hopefully we'll see how that happens. And
what's the bug?
Sometimes in High Infinite, sometimes there'll be like a desync. And normally a desync gets fixed, right? Normally the next game you get the cubes that you would have gotten back and it's fine. It figures itself out and you're like, oh, okay, those are my cubes back. Recently, the desyncs have caused like a game will just get erased. Like a game that happened will just be like, oh, that never happened. And
can this also be bank error in your favor, though?
It has never been in my favor. But I assume...
Because you never lose.
Of course, right. But I assume it
right.
can. Like, this happened to me the other day. I played against someone. I won 4 cubes. The game didn't happen. Then we queued each other again because the game didn't happen. And I got the SP from the 4 cubes after the second game. But I didn't get anything for the second game. And it's like, I don't know what that was like on their end. Did they lose the SP or did they not lose the SP? I genuinely, I just don't know what it's like, right? Yeah. And I guess I probably wouldn't notice if it was ever in my favor, but I definitely notice when it isn't, right? And,
I know.
I lost like 80 SP and it was like, all right, well, time to go back to old reliable. Gained 100 SP with Batrock. It's like, well, okay, that works. That's a deck that works. Yep. It's quite a
Batrock. Batrock's so strong that it allows you to defeat bugs by gaining the SP that the bugs steal from you.
Yep. I gained that 100 SP despite having cubes stolen. Yes, that is true. I gained more than 100 SP, really. I was robbed. But yeah, there was like a guy in There was a guy in a Discord that I'm in whose account was just bugged such that nobody he played gained cubes. Yep.
Did he lose cubes?
Nope.
That's kind of sweet for that
Sweet
guy.
For him. It sent me off the deep end. I played him twice. I beat him twice. I didn't get shit. It was a pain in the ass.
I'm re-rolling over here.
But yeah, I whined about it. And I was like, this is absolute bullshit. And they looked into it, and at least that guy's account got fixed. So his account works now. I can't speak for much more than that, but yeah, good for that. I do what I can. I use my connections that get devs on get devs on my YouTube channel to whine about the game not giving me enough SP. It's good being me. All right.
What is nepotism for,
Dude, tell me about it, right? This is like I went out and I fixed this. I helped get this guy's bug in front of the right people purely because it pissed me off. Not to be helpful, not to be like, oh, let me help you out, because it was negative for me, and I was mad at it.
Yeah, again, if it was bank error in your favor, would you be out here like banging on doors? I don't think
Ain't no way, dude. Only when it's bad for me. That is when things are serious. But yeah, that's pretty much my week in Marvel Snap. Was like, all right, let's play some other stuff. Oh, it's not going very well. Let's play Batrock. Like, that was pretty much it. That guy is quite a card. Also, whenever I say quite a card, what I'm trying to avoid saying is motherfucker. That guy is a motherfucker. That is like that is me being like, maybe my audience doesn't want to hear this, but I do feel like I owe you the look into my brain there.
Well, now I know, and that's good.
Yeah.
I'll update my mental model.
Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much my experience with Marvel Snap right now. It's been enjoyable. I keep seeing people that like come back to my Discord. They're like, I'm getting back into the game. Is it better now? And it's like, well, you probably left about Kid Omega, and so yes.
In one regard, yes. Yeah. However,
yeah, like you probably left about Kid Omega.
I have great news. People are playing Wasp. I have bad news. It is, as you would expect, for horrible reasons.
It's weird because the top 100 meta is actually great. You get all sorts of people playing all sorts of bullshit, because what happens after everyone decides to beat up on Star-Lord is you kind of go back to zero. Because a lot of the decks that beat up on Star-Lord are investing some slots in being Cosmo decks and Daredevil decks and Supergiant decks, right? And so it turns out if you decide I'm not going to beat Star-Lord, you could play any old bullshit and beat those decks. With the notable exception of Batrock, which is, as discussed, quite a card.
Quite
a card. But yeah, like it is kind of like that, where like the metagame almost starts over from zero once everyone has agreed to put Star-Lord in a dumpster, and so all my friends are playing the most heinous mid-range piles you've ever seen and succeeding with them. And it's like, okay, I had to put a disclaimer in my video. Like, this is working at top 100. It's not going to work for you if you're running into Star-Lord. You can't play this crap. This is like, I've never had to do that before. I've never had to do a can't play this crap disclaimer halfway through my video.
But like my experience, I don't know, like in the 80s or something, haven't been playing a ton, but I don't even play very many like Star-Lord mirrors, like I certainly very, very rarely get, super gianted. Cosmo fairly common, like maybe they're out to get me specifically, or maybe that is just a holdover from like an older list or whatever. I have not played against a single Jean Grey. I will tell you that much. But yeah, just the mirrors are not even like super common. So it's entirely possible that you could just do mid-range slop and maybe succeed at roughly the same clip. Like maybe you'll be X and Star-Lord or whatever, and that will be roughly the same where I am as at top, but maybe it is way worse, like in Dumpster Infinite or something. Maybe there's more Star-Lord there. I don't know.
I actually just am curious to know what the hell your experience is like. Because this is one of those situations where I feel like the disconnect has never been bigger.
Yeah, it is certainly really weird because you're like, there are definitely times where it's like, here are KM's like decks of the week or whatever, and those were the decks that I had been playing against, you know, because people are tuned in, paying attention to content creators, whatever, and it's like normal-ish stuff.
Yep.
So people are like, oh yeah, I mess with it. Oh yeah, like Destroy's good. Hell yeah, brother, I'm in. But the decks that you post, it's like 8 things I'd never seen before in my entire goddamn life.
Yeah, it's so weird because these only arise because of high-level thought processes in response to Star-Lord, basically. That's it. That's the only reason why they exist, is because a bunch of us are in a chat room talking about how to beat this fucking guy, right? Like, that was the entire first week of Snap.
Like
is just
3
like,
weeks in the future.
Yes, like that's actually what's going on. Like, it's just a bunch of people who are like really good at the game. Like, all right, how do we put this guy in? How do we like repeatedly put this guy in a dunk tank? How do we set this guy up at the rodeo and just throw shit at his feet until he falls into an 8-foot bottle of water? How do we do that? You know, how do we make this man into a rodeo clown? And that has mostly successfully been done. It's just, it's all this weird out of nowhere bullshit. And because my audience is mostly people who are not in that space, it's been difficult to be a communicator this week, I feel like. It's something I'd like to resolve on this podcast, but I don't know that I can.
No, this is where you need like a Smurf account.
Yeah. I need a temperature checker. Like, what are you guys playing against? Like, can I just get someone to track what their MMR is and then just tell me like 100 games worth of sample size? Tell me what the fuck is up down there. And then I can, like, if I have a 100 game sample size, I can tell you a deck that's good into that metagame. Like, I'm pretty sure I can do it. But
yeah, I mean, just I don't know if there are people who are streaming who are like in the 80s or 90s or like Dumpster Infinite or whatever, but just like check in there and see what their experience is like, what they're playing against. And I imagine it is going to look very different from what you're seeing.
But the lesson of it is that you can take any of those 8 decks you've never seen before and give Star-Lord a swirly if you want.
You absolutely can. Or you could just be like, I'm going to be X and Star-Lord, and that's okay. You know?
Yep. It's a very, not linear meta, but circular, right? It's decks that beat Star-Lord, decks that beat those decks, and then Star-Lord beats a lot of those decks. And it's like, all right, well,
yeah. The way you described it is very RPS, where you have Star-Lord, you have decks playing the weird combinations of like tech things and like the very specific decks that those things actually fit into to beat up on Star-Lord, and then the people playing like, oh, good normal stat things that lose to Star-Lord and pretend like it doesn't exist.
2 notable exceptions, I think. Either Batrock deck and Cerebro 3. If you asked me to like gun to my head, what's the solution to this metagame? Those decks are pretty good into Star-Lord and pretty good in everything else, too.
Yeah. I mean, the Batrock stuff, Daredevil Cosmo definitely seems very strong. I don't... Like, Echo is rough. Like, I get where it's, like, probably the best answer to that sort of thing, but, like, you still have to guess correctly, right?
Well, no, like you put the Echo down and that saves your Star-Lord location effectively.
Do they? Oh, okay, I get they just always wait to play the Cosmo on top of the Star-Lord.
Yeah.
So you just play the Echo beforehand.
Yep. That's pretty much it. The Cosmos are not to stop the turn 4 Star-Lord. They're to stop the turn 5 multiplication of Star-Lord. Yeah, Zola, the Grandmaster. That's because, like, what people figured out pretty quickly, this is what I talk about when I talk about it, like, being about playing against the way the deck plays rather than against playing the deck. is it
Right.
turns out if they don't have 15 energy on the final turn, they just die. Like everything in the
Yeah,
deck
they
is
don't do
so
anything.
expensive that they just don't do anything. So-
And to take advantage of Star-Lord, you have to like do nothing in the early game also.
yes.
So
And
it's
so
not-
you never have
it's not
priority.
like you really have options.
You never have priority. You just get Cosmo to shit. Like it's really bad, right?
Yeah,
But
okay,
even stuff
no,
like
then-
Cosmic Ghost Rider, where it's like nice. Yeah, you did a great job with the Grandmaster on the card that has no text. You know, like
yeah.
even that level of interaction, you're just like, oh man, well, my turn 5 is like my turn 5 was 8 power, and my turn 6 is worse. Like that's kind of why the Star-Lord deck doesn't like is getting like swirlied on so much is basically just that specific thing is like if you want to take full advantage of it, well, you got a lot of big idiots in your hand that you're not going to play and a lot of cards on the board that are going to not have power, and then you're just going to lose the game because that's how games are decided.
I mostly dislike playing decks like that where it's just like you get picked apart so badly that you do nothing, you know? And I feel like I can't be alone in this sentiment, you know?
You're not of the two players on this podcast. We both agree on this, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm willing to like try them and do them, and then in those situations where you're like, say Cosmic Ghost Rider was the biggest thing, it's like, okay, well, is there a way to build my Star-Lord deck where I don't have to like double the output, but like I can just do something on that Star-Lord turn that is actually meaningful?
Yeah, that's what the Wasp deck is trying to do. Like it's that theory.
Yeah,
You'd like it. I think you'd like the process that led to it. It's very you.
Twist my arm to get me to play a Wasp.
Yeah.
You know, I'm no longer like the head of surgery of the Wasp. I'm but a lowly surgeon.
Do we I do
it.
kind of wonder if we got to talk about a little bit about our guy Fin Fang Foom.
What about him? He's great. Don't touch him. Everyone's happy.
Like, he's just kind of like
he costs 7 KM. You can't even play him by the rules of the game.
See, I would care a lot more about that if Star-Lord wasn't everywhere, you know? Like, it'd be a lot more meaningful if that card didn't exist. But, like, I what I'm going to get on specifically is, like, you win a concerning amount of games by going wave Fin Fang Foom, way to turn Arnim Zola. Like, a concerning amount of games are just like, oh, I really hope they don't do that to me. I think that guy's a pretty free 2-power loss in an upcoming OTA. You know what I mean? I don't want to kill him, but I think it's a pretty free 7/10. Not that I even necessarily think he needs it. I just think you can, and so you probably should. Is that bad?
No, I mean the best nerfs are the ones where you can make a change and the card still sees roughly the same amount of play, I think.
Yeah,
I do think I do think that some amount of power could probably come off the guy and it would probably be fine and people would be like, oh, my card got slightly worse. But realistically, you're overkilling them with Fin Fang Foom. No, you're overkilling people with Fin Fang Foom. So like you can afford, like, yeah, it feels bad. Your card is worse or whatever, but you know, you don't, if your thing is 30 power, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he is a little bit of a, like, again, he's one of those focal points because he so obviously breaks the rules of the game. You play a guy and it's 30 power and people are like, oh, that's not fair. It's 30 power, right? Like that kind of thing. But I do think that the fact that you have to play in fear of the wave Fin Fang Foom Arnim Zola, where it's like, this is my shitty backup plan. It's like, all right, maybe do something about it. Like, just knock a little off. It's fine.
Honestly, I think the more offensive thing to me is Wave existed. Well, Wave did like very different things, right? But Wave also existed before 7-cost cards existed also. And I think the novelty of a 7-cost card where it's like you have to play Magic, you have to play some sort of energy ramp kind of thing. Like, we still expect you to play this on turn 6, but just like work a little harder to do it. And Wave is the thing that is kind of breaking that, where now I get to play a 7 and like a 6-cost card. And that's kind of the messed up thing. So you could do kind of like this very heavy-handed, sort of like overdevelopy feeling wave effects cards that cost 6 or less or whatever, you know. Oh, baby kitten. Oh,
Yes.
I didn't hear the mew, but I saw it.
She is illiterate or not illiterate. She doesn't know
I
how
would
to
imagine
meow.
she is illiterate.
She doesn't know how to meow. Like,
What's it sound like?
very high pitched, and
Yeah.
like she's getting better at it, but she definitely isn't good.
Just it's like grunting, kind of.
No, it's like a high pitched whine. Like there's
Yeah.
no M or there's no meow. It's just the middle sound. You know, there's no start or end. It's just the sound in the middle.
Just ow.
Yes, like it's
Ow.
it's like it's like that, right? A little bit. She doesn't exactly get it. Our other cat will get to teaching her eventually. She does not like being up here the way the other cat does, though. It freaks her out.
Yeah.
Scared. I have to pick her up, and she's like, "Let me
my little cat
down."
My little cat will always sit on my legs. And, you know, basically like loves being around me, loves cuddling, loves getting on the countertops, like being up high.
Yep.
But like I pick her up and she's just like, oh God, like get me out of here.
Yep. She's a cuddle bug.
Like,
she loves cuddling, but just doesn't want to be up there.
Loves cuddling, trusts me, and then I pick her up and she's just like, I don't like this.
No, I don't really know why. I have no explanation for it, but maybe she'll get used to it. My cats typically get used to the way I handle them, which I don't know. Maybe that's a bad thing, but I tend to hold my cats like babies, and they don't always love that immediately. But eventually they realize it is okay.
Yeah. I think there's this thing I saw where like if there's a fire in your house and you need to escape with your pets or whatever, you just like squish them against your body.
Yeah.
Like you just make them feel, you know, like how they go inside like cardboard boxes or whatever. It's like they feel like they are protected, surrounded by something. And if you do that, like I can hold my baby cat like a baby, but I have to like hold her down a little bit, not like force her, but just like put some pressure on her so she feels like she is secure instead of like dangling in midair without a parachute.
Yeah. And eventually, like, both of my previous cats were like very happy to be held like that. And I guess are in the case of one. But yeah, like it is something that I wonder about, because it's like that doing that makes it feel forceful, you know? I don't like it. I don't like the concept of it. Even though it is protective and nurturing and all of that stuff, it still feels a little weird.
My homies were out of town this weekend. Went to a weeb convention, KatsuCon, and me and my landlord's partner, I guess, I don't know, my friend, were watching their cats, and one of their cats he'll like get up on your shoulders, you know, he'll like he just wants to be picked up all the time. And the other one, as soon as you grab her and lift her off the ground, she immediately meows. She's like, and it's like a very protesting meow, like meow, like don't do this. But then as soon as you have her like and you're holding her, she's like, oh, this isn't so bad. But every single time without fail, you pick her up and she's like, no.
How do you think your friend would feel if they heard you describe them as my landlord's partner? I guess my friend.
Well, he doesn't play Marvel Snap, so I'm pretty sure I don't have to worry about that.
I'm just saying, dog.
He would probably shrug and agree if he was being realistic.
My podcast partner, I guess my friend, Gerry Thompson.
Yeah.
Sick as hell, dog. I think that's pretty much everything I've got. No new shenanigans.
Cam, isn't Marvel Snap a glorious game where there's new content released every week? And isn't there new content coming out next week?
Oh yeah, we could talk about Kraglin. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there's not content coming out next week.
Or we could talk about Major Victory. That came out this week.
Did it?
Yeah, it's in Grand Arena.
Oh, I was gonna say, unironically,
Haven't seen her,
hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked by that one. That's who could have seen that one coming?
I saw that there was a
victory.
Creative House Pocket Star-Lord skin. And I was like, I don't want it enough to play the mode. And then I also noticed the mode had different champions from different seasons of it or whatever. So like the art style did not line up. There was like 3 with the pixel style, 3 with one style. And I was that kind of broke my brain.
Steps arena variant really badly.
You do?
Yeah, I need it. And I don't think it's one of the ones in there because I haven't really been playing Grand Arena. But you mentioning that is going to make me check just to make sure that I don't have to like wail to get the thing first steps variant out of Grand Arena.
You would hate to miss out.
The Gladiator thing first steps is so baller, and every other thing first steps is so incredibly ass. It's kind of unbelievable.
I don't have the problem that you do because I don't like that card. And I basically never play with it. So I could not care less.
The bad news is it's not out, and instead it is Cosmo, Khazar, and Angela. And I do not care. So I am good to go on not getting thing first steps. Yeah, Kraglin seems abysmal. Major Victory is bad.
Major Victory is cool as shit though.
Drax is actually kind of nice with it.
Oh yeah, I had an opponent Drax me, and it was like low key pretty damn good. I was
guy is nice with it. Like I had him and Star-Lord as the best cards of the season. Clearly that was a mistake because they're not equivalently good, but they are probably the best cards of the season. So at least I got that going for me.
Yeah, I mean, I forget what you said Drax was good against, where I was like, I don't. Yeah, okay.
And it is. That Jack is just kind of not around.
Yeah. But yeah, just it as a card, it wasn't like, oh, this feels like a tech card against my big stuff deck or whatever. But I was just like, this is a decent amount of power. I don't know. It's
great Iron Patriot follow-up, great Aurora card, Doom 2099 card, all that shit. All true.
Man's just clocking in, clocking out, putting in an honest day's work.
Like, just the Marvel Snap is not about stat sticks, but if it were, this guy would be one of the best cards in the game.
Yeah.
Like, he's just... In a world where, if this was a year ago, when we were playing Iron Patriot Sam Wilson decks, this dude is a beast. This dude is an absolute monster. Keep that in mind if they ever decide to go back on, 6 months of dev work and make all the tech cards good again. Because this guy's going to be a beast again, if that happens.
Okay. All right, this is a bad idea. I was thinking about how, you should have a Smurf account or you should watch like someone stream in the 90s or whatever. And then because of this, I was like, huh?
Yeah, we're going to make you do it.
Good luck. I'm busy socializing and making new CEDH friends.
You're not.
I left the house twice.
God.
Dude, next weekend, I have store champs on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
I like. Can we talk about the concept of store champs? Because it pisses me off so bad that you're just like mercenarying around to these fucking stores. Like, oh, I'm gonna go to store champs. Like you belong
I want to be the
these
champion
LGSs.
of this store.
It sucks.
When it was the first time I'd ever been there. It is kind of dumb.
Absolute mercenary.
I was thinking about the Iron Patriot thing where like that card's got to be cracked on the Chinese version, right? And I was like, well, maybe you could just play the Chinese version. Obviously, that doesn't give you like a baseline understanding of like what is happening at the lower levels or whatever. But
I'm pretty sure it requires identity theft.
Really?
Yeah. I saw people asking for Chinese social security numbers to play the Chinese Marvel Snap, and it's like, well,
yeah, okay,
not doing that shit. I'm good. I do not feel like committing international identity theft in order to play Marvel Snap.
I feel like China would probably not look kindly upon that, especially. But
yes, and given we are entering the American century of humiliation, it's important for me to maintain my ties.
American century of humiliation. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of store championship, yes, there is one near me where it is the store I like the most. It is called Paper Tiger. And unfortunately, they don't hold like higher level events like RCQs or whatever. So I don't go there very often. But whenever I'm like, oh, I want to buy some product or I'll check their website for singles or whatever, I try to go to this place, even though it's like way out of my way. It's 40 minutes from my house. And their store championship specifically has a thing where you have to have played an event in their store in the last 3 months.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Should.
And it's like part of me where I'm like, man, I can't. They finally have like a big tournament where it's like, you know, the promo card's like $350 or some shit. And I can't play. And then I'm like, nah, that's correct. That is the correct thing that they should do.
Yeah, they gotta gatekeep you mercenaries out, dude. I know too much about the Middle Ages to think that letting you guys win is ever a good idea. The free companies, not a chance, dude. No way. That Middle Ages fact. Every like mercenary company was just the worst goddamn people on the planet. Like you think about like all armies as sort of similar. But mercenaries were like professional fighters, and they were just generally huge pieces of shit because that's what it entailed, being a professional fighter. And so what would happen is like normal peasant levies are just like a normal guy, you know, fighting to defend his family. And then he'd run into like demon from the Swiss Alps mercenary who's been killing people for 30 years. It's just like, holy shit. Like that.
Like Drac, just clocking in.
Yes.
You know,
like genuinely just like clocking in for another day of murder. That's what I'm doing. And like that's you. That's you going to these store champs. You're just clocking in, dude.
The funny thing, though, is it used to be me and Glenn Jones for a brief period.
Just dead-eyed. There
was a moment where I had left Wizards and he had been hired by Wizards, but it was like a month before he started. And we were just doing like the Rounders thing where we went around to like all these local like IQs and stuff and just like beat up on children for $100 in store credit. It was so sick. And I look back on this so fondly as like one of the funnest months of my entire life where like I would watch, dude, I would watch, you know, Glenn play in top 8 and, you know, just get daggered, like draw 6 lands in a row to lose or some shit. And then I have to hear about it for an hour on the way back home. And I just remember all of that so fondly. I'm like, that was so fun. I just want to do that. And that's what I'm trying to do. I just don't have a Glenn Jones.
I wish I knew prematurity Glenn Jones. I would have loved to hear Glenn Jones yell about bad beats. Fuck. Sounds awesome.
I could tell you all about it. I'm sure he could as well, but it would not be.
we're not gonna air it out. I love the idea.
It would not be recorded. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, rocks. Oh man, it's cool to know that, like, you know, there's always room for people to grow. You know, you can always become like a measured, well thought out, well spoken person who answers questions and asks the team, all of which imply that you're trying to rob them.
Yeah,
he's answering these questions like he's fucking Robin Hood. Excuse me, sir. Are you here to rob me? Nay, I am here only to free you of your gold and the curse of its greed. Like, that's every Ask the Team, dude. It rocks so hard. Thank you so much for listening to the KMBest podcast. Normally we talk a little bit more about Marvel Snap, but Drax clocked in and Kraglin ain't gonna do a damn thing. It's gonna be really funny if Kraglin is good, by the way. I called that card like unmitigated dog shit. So it's gonna be really funny if he's good. Who knows though?
It's one of those cards where it's like I feel like maybe there's a time and a place, but I'm skeptical, you know?
Yeah, it's like if Drax is good, this is worse.
Yeah.
And Drax is good, and this is probably then going to be worse than that. But maybe people will find something cool to do with the 2 energy. By which I mean they're going to play Galactus.
It is kind of funny, Star-Lord into like Kraglin releasing. I feel like
maybe he's our
it's like
backup Star-Lord,
releasing.
dude.
I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like you release Llanowar Elves, then you release like a 2-mana version of a card that does the same thing. It's just like,
all right,
this kind of pales in comparison. I understand, maybe you make more from the season pass or whatever. So like, yeah, it's supposed to be stronger, but I feel like they should have released in opposite order,
Yeah. One of these cards gives you 5 energy and is 10 power, and the other one either gives you 2 energy or is 7. Not a great comp for our boy Kraglin. But Kraglin's a Nepo baby anyway. He's Sean Gunn. Unbelievable. Horrendous. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I'm KMBest. He's Gerry Thompson. We will see you in the next one.